Yolanda's return to EastEnders after years of absence has revitalized the show. Her complex character, marked by sharp wit and principled demeanor, resonates with viewers. Angela Winter's portrayal, particularly in a storyline addressing sexual assault, has earned acclaim. Yolanda's presence injects diversity and depth, setting EastEnders apart in the soap landscape. Why Yolanda's comeback to EastEnders has been a success for the program. Yolande. To Yolanda, please. In 2008, Patrick Truman's wife vanished from our screens and Walford after dabbling in and out of the more meaty plots on EastEnders. The Pat and Yolanda ideal team came to an end when she fled for a better life in Birmingham. It's hard not to feel that EastEnders degraded the former Mrs. Truman, and one can only speculate about what could have happened if she had stayed, but it doesn't really matter. Yolanda, the queen of biting teeth and returning unclean looks, is back and finally receiving what is rightfully hers. 21 years have passed since we laid eyes on Yolanda née Dukes. Presented as Patrick Truman's Christmas flirtation, he returned from Trinidad with a gleam in his eye and a woman who respected God beneath his arm. Yolanda, who was running from a dominating and loveless marriage, looked up to Patrick as a shining savior. She quickly proved to be a force to be reckoned with in the years that followed because to her always changing hairstyles, her ability to cast shade, and her kind heart. They became into a bit of a power couple together. They took over the car lot, controlled the Minute Mart, and at one time it looked like they were on a Walford takeover. They even opened a hotel. And suddenly everything collapsed. That was it, Yolanda went off to Birmingham. It left Patrick to continue his quest for legendary status on his own in the emptiness, not that it was hard. He became a famous soap opera character with the trilby, the gleaming tooth, the mans, and the finger-licking, all while keeping one of the most authentic representations of an older black character in soapland. Pubs, bookies, and domino tournaments used to be teeming with men like Patrick Truman, and sometimes it was difficult to see what he had in common with Yolanda. Yolanda likes nothing more than a sour face and a Bible phrase, whereas Patrick loves drink, ladies, and song. However, they were a good match because she wasn't constantly serious and her saintly attitude frequently helped to temper Patrick. Every now and then, we saw a glimpse of Yolanda, the carefree gal who enjoys a good time just as much as the next lady. Yolanda is many things, as her performer, Angela Winter, perceives her. The character, who was first inspired by her deceased sister Merlene, was characterized as bubbly, positive, tough, and principled by the author before Yolanda made her appearance in the square. However, Winter also perceives Yolanda as weak, which is something we're only now fully realizing. Yolanda Truman's attraction is universal, regardless of one's perspective, and her fan base is growing every minute as if she has never left. There are TikToks in her name and forums talking about how much they appreciate her return, but her seemingly accidental humor keeps coming up. Her refusal to put up with fools and her always alert, tense faces are perfect, yet some people find her Caribbean accent more endearing, especially black viewers who can identify. Nobody in soapland can deliver a quip, an insult, or wise counsel with such clipped patois as she can. It was revealed most recently when comforting Denise about her failing marriage to Jack. To put it bluntly and without flinching, the marriage was a mashup. Additionally, her tongue lashing of Denzel for intercepting his steroid package became an instant Yolanda classic. Many find it humorous because they have known, or occasionally are related to, women who resemble her. Though it doesn't seem feasible, Yolanda's ascent in the square coincides with Corey's seeming loss of control over storytelling. Although Corey has never truly grasped racial diversity, on the surface it still excels at comedy, humor, and slapstick. Though they have made an effort, EastEnders has consistently outperformed Corey, and it's possible that this mix of variety and character-driven humor is what keeps EastEnders moving forward while Corey stagnates. Whether it's one-liners about Ulez, Felix, a black drag queen who outsmarts Phil Mitchell, or Yolanda being branded a Jezebel, the humor stems from unique experiences and personalities, much like the notion that Corey's humor is based in the North. Nevertheless, as Coronation Street is undoubtedly learning, it's not all laughs. Positively speaking, the diversity that the Baileys and other families have brought to the street in recent years has come from a good place. They are not simply a black family, they are a family first. The truth is, they're no different from the rest of the people on the street, just less so. Their characters have lost much of what makes them distinctive, leaving them quite flat. Of which Yolanda may be accused of none. Some could argue that she has too much for a lady with her level of religious conviction because of her abundance of character and depth. She made her debut on the heels of an extramarital affair, and her relationship with Patrick has been filled with highs and lows, near-dalliances, and physical absences over the years. She has also gained notoriety for having a less than godly temper. Yolanda is obviously used to turning a cheek, but when she gets the chance, she loves to slap it, as we have seen many times. She has endured a lot over the years, losing her cool with Charlie Slater, Patrick, Pat, and, most recently, Agatha, the gossip from the prayer group. Nevertheless, we wouldn't have it any other way. But Yolanda has shown us a different side this week. Her persona and Patrick's have been inseparable for years. The majority of Yolanda's tales have focused on her relationship with Patrick, whether it be via meddling, cooking, complimenting, or do-gooding. However, she now has a breakout storyline of her own, albeit a somewhat depressing one. We've been witnessing the well-respected Pastor Clayton mistreat Yolanda for weeks, but he keeps saying it's just in her head. The insistence that she was incorrect and the touching, staring, and casual appearances at her residence all amounted to enormous gaslighting. But this week, Yolanda's worst nightmares came true following the pastor's sexual attack. Even though it took more than 20 years, Angela Winter's depiction of a sexual assault victim and her recovery touched a powerful nerve. Though it may have been 20 years overdue, Winter's acting has also received recognition for its strength. Still, it's better late than never. This is England, shocked by a man's racist outburst in a crowded carriage, fellow passengers react with horror. This is the horrifying moment a man on a crowded London train starts screaming racist abuse at other passengers. At approximately 11 p.m. on Thursday, witnesses reported that 4 men boarded a train at London Bridge, claiming that they were looking for someone who had brushed past them on an escalator. "Listen, this is England, not no like you lot," the man in the tan coat can be heard yelling at the carriage as a passenger starts recording him. Passengers on the Bedford route to Three Bridges said that a woman in her 70s was subjected to racist abuse, including screams directed at her face after she confronted the group. One of the passengers described the encounter as easily the most horrendous journey and experience she has ever had in a video that was put to X. 4 of them got on at London Bridge, according to Mary Mandafield, a BBC and Hits radio presenter on the carriage, who spoke to The Independent. On the train, there were no cops. "We were stranded with them for a very long way between Norwood Junction." After the main man who began it all got on, his companions were really agitated. Many people did confront them, but they would later turn on anyone who dared to disagree with them. "We simply said, we'll leave them alone and wait for the police to arrive." During the event, the witness stated, "An amazing senior approached the group. The girl sitting next to me had to shield me, she was really scared," she continued. "He started calling me a C-word and telling me to return to my own country as soon as I stopped filming," the woman said. "The most serene part is the video. I got off at the same time as a woman. Even though she was in her 70s, she told me she had to confront him. He was still yelling in her direction though." A passenger responds to the outburst on the video by calling it embarrassing, but then another man appears and yells, "It's not about race, it's not about race." The first man is told by another to chill out before being told, "You're getting thrown out now." Disgust from social media users caused the video to go viral very fast. People can say racism isn't a big thing anymore, but wait until you're being stared down by a racist shouting slurs at you when they have that glazed over look and you know they could knock you out if they wanted to, Ms. Mandafield wrote on X about the impact on her. Many people, even children, were shaken and shed a few tears, but everything else seemed fine. The British Transport Police declared that they were looking into 2 allegations of Section 5 public order crimes that were motivated by race. The force also stated that although several persons were removed from the train, no one had been brought into custody. According to a spokesman, at approximately 22:59 p.m. yesterday, officers were dispatched to East Croydon railway station after receiving allegations of a brawl aboard a train travelling from Luton to Three Bridges. When officers arrived, the individuals in question were located and removed from the service. Anybody with information is asked to get in touch with BTP by texting 61016 or calling 0800 40 5040 and using reference 930 of April 18, 2024, as investigations are still ongoing. The Safety, Health, and Security Director of Gavia Thameslink Railway, Sam Facey, declared, "This kind of behavior is totally intolerable and will never be accepted. All those engaged had an awful experience with this. We express our gratitude to the train personnel for their intervention and the British Transport Police officers for their rapid response. We'll keep helping the BTP with their inquiries. Please subscribe our channel."